Hey guys, Jonah here, and welcome to Supermarket Sunday. And for those of you that haven't been with me for that long, or maybe this is the first video that you've seen of mine, um, I've been doing Supermarket Sundays for about 10 years, but it's been a while since I've done one. And basically, it's how the British supermarkets kind of buy in to big brewers and get them to brew special beers for their own supermarkets, if that makes sense. So we've got one today, and I usually release them on Sunday. If you want to look back, obviously subscribe to the channel, that'll help. Look back at my videos. I've got a playlist called Supermarket Sunday. Have a look in there. These are all beers that are available in the British or UK supermarkets. But today we have got this bad boy. And you can see why I've chosen this one. There's going to be the start of a few that well, if I can find them. I found a few of these. And this is number one, collaboration collection, exclusive to Asda. It's a hazy New England style pale ale with punch of fruity flavours. And it is by Kirkstall Brewing, which is damn cool. I've had a fair few of their beers. It is 5.2% on the old ABV. Not quite enough. Yeah, not quite enough to be an IPA, but that is fine. They've called it a pale ale. Actually, they haven't. They've called it an IPA. Hang on. What did it say? That says pale ale, and that says hazy IPA. I don't know. Don't know. They're calling it an IPA. It's not an IPA. Damn it. There we go. Asda has exclusively teamed up with innovative, I can't even say that, a market-leading brewers to create an exciting new range of beers. There we go. Kirkstall Brewing tells you a lot about Kirkstall. Now, I'm not going to read all of that kind of stuff. Cistercian monks of Kirkstall Abbey. Anyway, if you want to read that, get a can or take a screenshot. What am I talking about? Pause the video. I want to drink this beer. Oh, there's some more information. I love it when there's information on the can, apart from where my camera is a bit hazy, shall we say. So we've got wheat, barley, and oats. Yep, fair dues. Tells us about avoiding the pregnant ladies, which is always good. Doesn't talking about leads, blah blah blah. I thought it was going to name the hops and stuff. Unfortunately not. It's got a black top. It has a silver bottom. Yeah. One day I'm going to have a beer and it's going to have a black bottom on the can, and I'm going to be so damn happy. But at the moment, no. It's a big can as well. It's a 440 can, and it's in the deal, which I was talking about before. As the deal, buy 4 cans for the price of 3. You got to be a bit careful. And because some of their beers are a little bit more than others, and I would always recommend that you get beers of a similar price. They don't have to be exactly the same, and then that way your cheapest one will be free. They do beers ranging up to like over £4, £4.5. I think these ones were about £3 ish, maybe just over 3.20 or something. But when you do all the division, and in my head it's difficult, but I believe I got these for £2.50 each. So don't usually buy expensive beers, but £2.50 not too bad, I suppose. Gone are the days of buying pound a pint beers. Well, hopefully those days return, because I really appreciate those. The only time these days you can get pound a pint is on cider, and you can definitely do that on cider. But beer, it's a lot harder to do. So there we go. That will be the thumbnail, dear viewer. You will have seen that already. Look at that head, man. King head. It's a 2-fingered head. Absolutely gorgeous, fluffy white head. Looks like a bit of cloud. The yeah, the beer itself is definitely hazy. Um, yeah, I would say it's a hazy pale. We'll see. It might be a bitter beer. Um, New New England style, not usually bitter enough for me um, to be a proper IPA, but we shall see, Livia. We shall see. Interesting. So, definite tropical notes, maybe a tiny bit of stone fruit in the background, but it's kind of a zesty, almost sort of maybe lemony, limey, grapefruity zest type thing. Hopefully, it won't be obscenely bitter from that kind of zest of the hops, but you never know. Smells a little bit sweet, smells a tiny bit creamy. So I know that there's wheat and oats in here. Yes, I know I keep saying it, but that's because the brewers keep brewing it. Um, and especially with the oats, you do get that kind of creaminess. And sometimes it's a little bit of a cheat, I think, because if you're using a lot of oats, it kind of um, yeah, pulls things together into a kind of oaty, creamy kind of flavor. So it's easier to hide things in there. There's an old adage: the more ingredients you put into a beer, the more you kind of hide things in the background, which is why a lot of people think lager, um, not craft lager necessarily, but proper lagered beer, really clean, crisp lager. There is absolutely nowhere to hide. So something like a Czech Pilsner or like a Bohemian Pilsner. If you make a really, really good one, you are a fantastic brewer. Anyway, enough talking for now, anyway. And yeah, cheers and beers. Like I say, it is Sunday today. There was a Grand Prix on. Oh, one of the one of the best Grand Prix I've seen for a while. Absolutely fantastic. Lots of overtaking. When I say Grand Prix, I mean motorbikes. The Formula One was also on, and it was really boring, not worth watching in my opinion. But motorbikes is absolutely where it's at, in my opinion. Wow, it is pretty punchy up front, zesty, definitely kind of grapefruity kind of zestiness. Then we descend. Oh, there's some stuff in the background there. Hmm. Now this is what I was talking about earlier on. This is the problem. So really punchy zestiness up front, which is good. I like that. Not superbly bitter, IBU wise. It's not really hoppy bitter taste, but the flavour is very zesty, which is cool. And then it descends into creaminess, but no doubt because of the oats and wheat, as I was saying. But what's happened is the individual flavors, and I'm assuming they're using a range of different hops here, um, because the oats are in there, it kind of mixes those flavors together into a kind of hop milkshake, shall we say? This isn't a milkshake beer, by the way. Um, yeah, it kind of mixes together a little bit too much. So the stone fruits that I was getting on the nose, they're in there as well, but picking out the individual flavors of the fruits is a bit difficult because it's turned into this kind of milkshakey or oaty milkshake, oaty milkshake. My God, what am I talking about? Anyway, it's a nice beer though. I'm liking it. Oh, so once again, oh my God, wow, that was an incredible hiccup. Um, ooh, once again, really zesty up front, and then if I hadn't hiccuped, I would have been able to kind of dive in a bit more. Wow, Is that my hop allergy coming through? That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I think what's happened here, obviously because it's Asda, and Asda is kind of regarded as more of a budget type supermarket. In fact, it is quite mid-range. So they're making their way up in the world. I actually quite like Asda, um, but yeah, there's a stigma attached to Asda sometimes, and the fact that they're doing collaboration breweries is fantastic. But I can see where perhaps liberties to some degree have been taken. Um, Not with the hops though. This is actually quite a good hoppy beer. Pardon me. Um, but the mouthfeel is quite light, and that indicates to me that it's been a little bit watered down to some degree. Like I say, it's not one of those real creamy, thick milkshake type beers. Um, but yeah, zesty. If you like a zesty beer, this is definitely one to try. Especially if you like a zest in the kind of grapefruit zest, as opposed to like the lemon, the lime, the Mexican type beers, if you know what I mean. This one is very zesty up front. It's just a shame that the kind of secondary, i.e., the kind of more mouthfeely type stuff, and the aftertaste is kind of lost purely because everything is mixed together into a soup or a milkshake, as I said. Okay, I was a bit more careful at drinking then, so I wouldn't have that ridiculous hiccup in the middle. Wow, that was worth rewinding the video just for that. If you know what I'm saying. Um, wow, that zest is really hanging around in my mouth. It's really interesting. Um, but like I say, I think they probably skimped a little bit. They've definitely not skimped on the hops, but they've skimped a little bit perhaps on the oats, wheat, the malt side of things. And it's over 5%. That's interesting because if they watered it back a little bit, which I think they might have done, it's still a reasonably strong beer. And a 5% beer in a big can for £2.50, winner, winner, gonna have some dinner. That is, yeah, that is quite a nice beer. So this is collaboration number one. This one's Kirkstall. I've noticed I have also got the number two, which I'll probably do next week. But they're all with different breweries, so that's cool. The other reason I think they've skimped a tiny bit on the yeah, especially on the kind of oats and wheat is we're not getting much hot foam sticking on the side, lacing and all that kind of stuff. Jesus Christ, it's crazy. I talk about beer like nearly every day, and I still get tongue tied about things that I'm meaning. But maybe that says more about me and my mental health than anything else, because I am actually going completely batshit crazy. You know where you are, dear. And still, really, really nice, grapefruity type stuff. There we go. Before it all goes, have a look at the back side of that glass. Lots and lots of lovely foam there. Looks like fishes jumping out of the pint and that kind of weird psychedelic stuff. There's even a nice kind of tide line. There's a little one there, and then I don't know what that is. It's bizarre. But that is actually a really nice beer. For a supermarket beer, that is fantastic. A lot of the beers that I've done previously on Supermarket Sunday have been in bottles, and there are a few. Um, available through the supermarket Marks and Spencer's in bottle, and they've got the Union Jack crown caps on the top of the bottle. I might try and get one of those just to show you, but I love those ones. Makes real sense to me and gives me a sense of national pride. But these ones, pardon me, are more for the kind of the craft beer type people, the craft beer buyers that shop in Asda. But dude, if you're in Asda or if you're passing or whatever, why not nip in and get some of these collaboration brews? I believe they've been around kind of since the beginning of the year. I've done a little bit of research. I haven't noticed so far. Maybe my particular Asda hadn't stocked them until recently, but I've not actually seen them. And I think we're up to number 6, maybe 6 or 7, something like that. But anyway, that is collaboration number 1. This has been your loving Uncle Jonah. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Why not drink a beer or two? And I'll be back with another beer review. And I'll be back next week with another Supermarket Sunday. And that's coming up real soon.